Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Dice Casters. Robbie,
James,
Blake,
and we're going to talk about murder hobos today. So first off, let's talk about what exactly is a murder hobo.
Well, that's a derogatory term for players that want to save money.
Hobos.
That are obsessed with receiving money, usually.
Just because I want to sleep outside like my ranger would want to do. And, I don't particularly care for the morality system of the game. That makes you a murder hobo.
Usually.
But I guess in more serious terms, it's basically a player that doesn't play a character as if they're an actual existing creature within the world, or they're playing them more as a set of numbers where it's like, well, is there any reason why I would sleep inside? No. Okay, then I won't.
It's going to save me 4 copper pieces.
Is there any
I'll sleep
mechanical
outside.
reason I need to sleep inside? No.
Is there a reason why I wouldn't eat hardtack instead of like an actual meal? No. Okay, I won't. Is there a reason why I wouldn't just slaughter this whole village of goblins instead of trying to talk to them and see if there's any kind of other story?
Well, then you won't get their gold that way.
Yeah.
Or the experience.
My stuff. Yeah. I feel like it's more of like a mindset of the players where it's I'm not playing a character, I'm playing the numbers on my thing. I want to have the highest numbers.
Yeah. Usually. A lot of times that happens in most evil campaigns is they turn out to be murder hobos.
Yeah.
Whereas good campaigns is I want to do this with my character and this way. I want to be a knight and be in a castle and serve a lord and all that jazz.
I've probably done more role-playing my one evil character than I have with any of my good characters.
Your evil character was, to be fair, you were the only evil character in that party until
That's probably why the
Roland showed up.
role-playing was fun.
Yeah.
Because I was like going behind everybody's backs.
Yeah. And you at least owned a house
Yeah.
and slaves.
Evil church. Yeah. But at the same point, the idea of a murder hobo is just that, well, I'm saving up for my magic sword, so obviously I'm not going to pay to have my guy have a fucking bath. It's just a lot of like not taking care of your character and not treating them like a person. Stuff that like people try to do to like break that is to add more like a resting system or like a nutrition system, stuff like that, to like make it more reasonable to have that kind of thing happen.
Yeah, I don't know if 3.5 has it, but 5 has a thing where like you suffer from like exhaustion. Like you get one stage of exhaustion if you go like a full night without sleep.
It's just a different status effect is all it is.
Yeah, but you can die once it reaches to I think like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that does happen in 3.5, but then it's just like, okay, I'll find a rough patch of dirt and sleep on that.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing that says I can't.
Yeah. Unless, you're a ranger. You have endurance. I can do that. Another thing is I feel like rangers probably do fit the profile of murder hobo potentially more, at least mechanically wise, rather than your typical ranger archetype where it's like, I defend this and I defend the town from orcs and stuff, and that's why I'm good at fighting them. But I feel like just because of the favorite enemy class, like I hate these guys so much, all I want to do is kill them. And that is more or less a player mindset.
I mean, like rogues are all about just stealing and killing.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
at the root.
Well, then what do you do with that money? It's like, oh, I just have money and I bought a magic sword. It's like when the guy like wants to steal stuff, you at least want to be like, all right, I'm going to steal a couple coppers so I can stay at the nice inn tonight, so I don't have to sleep on the floor.
True.
I guess that's kind of the best way to avoid it is to, like I've been saying, think about what you would want in this situation. Would you really want to just like run up, murder a bunch of stuff, and then like sleep exactly where all of this blood and like all these carcasses are laying? Or would you want to try to go back to town and, stay somewhere where you can wash all this ichor and all these like all this blood and all these cuts and all these wounds that you have now? Wouldn't you want to do that instead of like dressing it in the field, like stuff like that?
I feel like barbarian also kind of qualifies as a prototypical murder hobo,
right?
Which is why most monsters, humanoids, at least in 3.5, are favorite class barbarian.
But then that also kind of comes into like if you're playing even a barbarian correctly, like barbarians still at the end of the day, they don't just sleep on the ground. They sometimes will build like grand like halls just made of like sticks and bear furs that like they will collapse, and then they will like go wander until they find another place they can set up and do a hunt, and then they'll build their structures because they at least want to not have rain come down on them. Yeah, they at least don't want to sleep in mud. Like, they like even if they can do that, like they still don't want their fucking back to hurt when they're trying to hunt down wildebeest or whatever they're doing.
And I would say caves, but you don't really want to sleep in caves just because
you never know what's in
monsters
them.
come out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But at the very least, that helps. Like it's like
Yeah.
I always like think back to like whenever I first started DMing, I always try to find like, okay, this is where they can stay that night. This is where they can stay that night. But then I quickly realized you and Ethan would just be like, oh, it's been 8 hours. All right, we stop exactly where we are, and we sleep here.
Yeah.
Like that's just if you just thought about that, like I don't know, just like Lord of the Rings or some shit. It's like they just walk and they just go, all right, this right here in the middle of the road is fine, and they don't even like try to go. All right, let's go find like a place where we can hide, and we can kind of slightly build a structure to where we can defend and hide out or something like that.
That's why I was attacking you guys so much when you camped in my campaign. It's just because to try to add like the they have a campfire, they're sleeping around it or what have you.
There's
No reason why.
If anything, I was sleeping up in a tree.
Sleeping inside a tree.
That's what I actually always did.
Yeah.
You always sleep hid in a tree.
Yeah.
Like watch down on everybody. Yeah, that's the thing. Like make outside dangerous because there's a lot of shit in D&D. There's a lot of stuff that's really good at seeing at night, and most of the player characters aren't until you get up to higher level. But still, like just have a fucking cougar attack you at night, and it's like, oh, then you just interrupted your rest. Now you gotta start all over. Just a bunch of shit like that makes it much. Just add that actual bit to kind of detract from wanting to not spend your money.
Yeah.
And another way that can go is just making it more lucrative for you to actually talk to the things that you're going to fight. Like even have like that quick dialogue with like the Lich. Like even I've done it where like you watch a movie where people are like they come into the evil sorcerer's lair and they have like a 5-minute monologue battling ideas with the guy, which ends in a fight. But 9 times out of 10 when we play D&D, it's we kick open the door. I hit him right now.
I hit him right now.
I've done that. It's like, oh, this guy comes writhing from the acid and with blood shrieking from him. He says, listen, I throw grenades on him.
Throw grenades on.
Yeah.
Yeah, first rule of DMing, don't plan too much.
Don't
Don't give him a speech.
There is that, but then there's the maybe plan a little bit too, like plan around them, expect what they're going to do, hope they're not going to do it, and give them the reward of not playing the way a game way of playing it and playing more as a character. So like maybe as like the Lich is like giving you like if you do like stop and like talk to him and hear like his evil plan, like maybe that gives you an insight to like how you can like there's like a backdoor way of like hurting him. Like there's like a thing you can do to like stricken down his power. You guys missed it, but you guys ended up doing it anyway. Early in my campaign, where you guys were hunting down a Lich, you had to like put his phylactery into like a box. He was gonna kind of explain that if you put his phylactery into that box while you're still fighting him, it basically cuts him off from his own soul. So like it's like a hack of how to fight him.
Okay.
And like if you just kind of sprinkle in like find ways for him to figure that out as opposed to just going, I run in, I throw my fireball and he shoots his arrows and then we charge. Like
I mean, you can even, depending on how much the players are willing to go with it, you can even try like a episodic experience where like after each like season, so to speak, that's when you get out experience or levels.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, like it doesn't matter if you kill this guy or not per se. Like it's depending on what you want to do as your character instead of I want to get experience and his item.
Mm-hmm.
I think another big way to avoid it is to maybe not make money such a complete necessary thing. Just kind of have it like, you have some cash.
Yeah.
You're going to use that for at the inn and at this, like military situations, like we were in Ethan's Good campaign, where we just got standard issue everything. That was pretty suffice, I would say.
And we never needed gold, really.
Yeah.
Like we had enough gold to do basically the PC kind or the character driven stuff, but we didn't have like that one to like, I need to hold on to this, that way I can hopefully find a ring of fireball or something like that.
Like I want to say we never had more than like 5,000 gold until probably like the very end.
I wouldn't doubt it. I have literally no idea how much money XC ever had.
I don't think you didn't carry money on you.
Oh yeah, I just never did that.
Yeah, you let Trent buy everything for you.
I never needed it.
Yeah, after we got the platinum in our Hunters campaign, I didn't pay attention super much. It's because I knew that with that platinum I had.
Yep, that was kind of like that was the idea, and then you guys instantly go, oh, we can use this for nefarious means.
Yeah.
Should have thought.
Damn
Should
it.
have thought about that.
Damn it. So yeah, to be fair though, with that campaign, it was a time of anti-magic, so money was much more preferable.
Mm-hmm.
Because we didn't have a lot of abilities, we didn't have a lot of stuff, there were no magic items. We did find some magic items, but they were relics.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we specified.
Yeah, like that they're more powerful than the anti-magic that's happening.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, another thing you can do as I guess like half DM and half player is kind of as a DM kind of describe different I guess set pieces and what they're there for. So like if you're invading this orc camp, just say like, yeah, this is the orc camp. As murder hobos you can kill them, but
Murder hobos.
yeah, as murder hobos you can just go kill them, take all their gold and sleep in the middle of it all. Or you can talk to like the hobgoblin encampment not too far away and try to get them to side with you somehow and have them all attack or just have them deal with it or something else like that.
I would say it also really depends on the party and the players and the characters involved. Let's describe the evil campaign that me and you played.
Yeah.
Describe me,
Jouffre. Well, the game starts off with us all in prison because we're all evil. And then once we've broken out, like, then we kind of have, dangerous prisoners on the escape doing all that kind of stuff. And Jouffre himself was, I literally took a feat that made him insane. He was a crazy man. Like, that had the god of evil talking to him in his thoughts and was like feral, a harsat, all kind, like the worst kind of like min-max thing, but it was amazing and so much fun. And I guess in that kind of a way, like the murder hobo kind of, if you're planning around that kind of game, it can really work because, if you're making an evil campaign, being a murderer and being a hobo can be the reason to play it.
Yeah.
So like it would literally just come to the point where like, oh look, I found some people on the side of the road. I kill them, I take their stuff. Oh, is it time for me to sleep? All right, I'll sleep right here.
Yeah.
But it just made sense for that character to do that.
And I mean, I made a sorcerer war mage for that who basically blew all of his money on slaves and very fancy things. And it's pretty much into my guy. Oh yeah, and he was selling drugs too.
Yeah. That was a game where the DM really did take care of you, so you didn't really have to worry about the stuff.
There was some role-playing aspects in there, to be fair, but not many.
I guess another way you can really help out with that is when you were saying do episodic experience, or you can kind of go the route that they tried to implement in 3.5, or not 3.5, in 5th edition with the inspiration die. Just keep a tally mark every time like a player does something that's very character, like that he would do as a character, and like every time like just reward them for that. So like when the drunken paladin acts like a drunken paladin, like he gets drunk and starts slurring a speech, starts slurring a prayer. It's like make a check mark. Like yep, that's what his character does. Or like anytime like the bard like decides to like sing a song in the middle of the tavern and like starts getting like tips for like check mark. I'll make sure to give him a little extra XP.
Yeah.
And then you can juxtapose that with the rogue that just goes, all right, I'm gonna sneak into this guy's house. I steal 3 copper, and I'm just gonna go sleep in an alley. He's like, all right, well that might be your character, but that's not that character. Yeah. That is like the most. Oh look, it says I can do that on my sheet, so I'm going to do that.
And why shouldn't your character go and stay in a nice fancy hotel?
Yeah. Unless
he has problems there, he has enemies.
Mm-hmm. In which case, if that works, if that's a part of his character and that makes sense for him, then we can reward him with that.
It can even be like a part of his flaw, like he only wants the finer things in life. He refuses to sleep outside or refuses to eat anything that isn't fine dining.
What was that prestige class that Savage took?
Oh, it's
made you sleep outside.
Fist of the Wild, or Fist of the Forest.
That's it.
It basically makes it that you have to live like an animal. You have to scour for all your food. You have to you can't sleep indoors because you have to be kind of at one with nature because that's where you're drawing all your magic and your powers from. Some people might find a way around that where they're like, oh, well, I'm gonna go sleep just outside of the inn. Whereas you could be, and that would still be a very murder hobo tactic versus like if you wanted to really embrace that, going and sleeping outside. Like I go find a park. And I'm going to like mosey out find a bed of flowers and let's sleep on that, like kind of meditating under a tree. Like at least in that instance, not only, like you are maybe being a hobo, but you're more playing into your character and like what his class is kind of dictating versus just going by like the letters. Like, it says I can't sleep inside, so I'm just gonna sleep under, just in the alley next door to where you guys are sleeping. Like, well, is that really then kind of the spirit of the Fist of the Forest sleeping outside, or being at one with nature, kind of sleeping outside, or is it just I fulfilled what it says I have to do?
Yeah. I mean, see, I fulfilled what it says it had to do, but I would have like slept up on the roof. Mainly because I don't think I'd want to ever be too far away from the party in particular.
I guess you just have to be careful of just making it not too tedious, I guess. Because it's cool to roleplay, but it also kind of takes away from it if it's too tedious,
That then comes into a whole other kind of debate where it goes from like, how much fun do you want to have with your class versus how much is the class kind of telling you what to do? So like we've had this debate so much. It's like, do you use magic components? Like, oh, it's too much work to keep track of, just get rid of it. It's like, sure, if that is what you want to do, but I also can see like the fun in being like, my dude pulls out his component and he throws all of the glitter into the air, and then he snaps his finger and it all ignites into a shower of sparks and fire.
I pick up the rock and it turns into a fireball.
Yeah. Like I take out the campfire, the campfire ashes, I put it into my sack, and then later, whenever I need it, I do a row of ash underneath this door, and I can ignite it with this spell.
Yeah.
Versus, I do a spell.
Yeah. I would say that also depends on your style of gameplay with that aspect.
Yeah, because if it's not fun for you, that's do it. That's always how that works. Even with the whole thing we've been saying about Murder Hobo, if you have a table full of people that just don't want to do that, or that just want to be murder hobos, you should just make the game about being murder hobos.
Yeah.
Really. In the end, it's what kind of game do you want to play? D&D should be about that game.
And to be fair, most murder hobo campaigns are evil and usually just end up turning into PvP fights.
That's kind of like why the Hunter campaign I was like wanting it to be. At first I thought you have to be a ranger or a scout, but then you guys kind of didn't want to do that, so I just said just make sure everybody has to track me.
Yeah.
That way you could justify everybody wanting to be like I live off the land. I just nap anywhere in the forest, because at least then everybody has that training. Everybody goes that way. So I kind of built in a reason for everyone to be a murder hobo if that how it turned out.
Yeah. Surprisingly, it didn't.
Sometimes with that, you have to worry about like the DM having to instead of saying how can I make an awesome role playing encounter, being more like how can I kill my players.
How can I
kill them? Because it's all about just the numbers and how much damage this thing can do, not really about what its meaning in the world is.
True. I would say that's if a character really did kind of went off the rails on you and just taking it a little too far.
And sometimes you start getting into min-maxing that way a little bit, and kind of gets out of hand.
It can.
And then so you can either try to just make the most powerful thing that you can find to just murder the shit out of them, or you can find other ways to challenge them. Like, you can have them go into a room and it's like, okay, what do I find? It's like, is there 50 orcs? Like, no, there's a pillar in the middle of the room and there's a ball floating there. It's like, oh, what is that? It's a puzzle.
Can I murder it?
It's a puzzle.
You actually have to work. You have to try. So you can actually challenge them in other ways. Like, you have to get across this ravine, like how I was doing at the end of the Hunters campaign. You guys have been fighting so long. I'm sure you guys were done fighting. So I'm like, all right, they just have to traverse acid pits and have to jump over pits.
Which I couldn't do at all.
He makes his character have 700 dose armor class. Like, well, that doesn't matter if you fall into the pits. Depths.
You got no skills.
Yeah, the entire party had to cater to my shittiness as a
My character's jumping over stuff, climbing up stuff, and I'm like, where's everybody at?
What about Nia? Let's see anyway. I stand.
Yeah, I guess that's one of those things. If you're looking to really challenge your players, sometimes combat isn't what you're going for. Sometimes you just need to have a really good puzzle. We can get more into puzzles
next time.